Okay, let me give you the best example. When one of your friends become an insurance agent, what's the first thing they'll say on Facebook or Messenger or Insta? What is it they'll say to you?
Yeah, you know, are you free?
Are you free? Want to go Yamcha? Hey, you got medical card or not? These four major lines, of which, minus the fourth one, satu, dua, tiga, never tell your actual intention behind. They never say. So by the time, let's just say I haven't spoken to you in 10 years, out of nowhere, you get a message from me saying, hey, jom makan. And you innocently thinking, oh shit, I've never seen Saadh in so long, let's go makan. I suddenly pull up a brochure, personal accident, critical illness. You'll be thinking, oh my god, some AIA become Ayah. So that's how people spoil the market. So the first day when I joined for training, they had about 16, 17 people. The manager had no choice but to speak in English. 2 people just gave me this look, this dirty look, saying that they didn't tell me, but I can see from their face, because of you, we are speaking English. And the moment I saw that, I was like, can I mind?
It's not a good culture.
The moment I saw this, I told my manager, you know what? You guys can continue having your training and I'll figure my way out. Asshole said okay. So I finished about 10 books in a year. I've never done 10 books in a year, actually, never done before, but simply because I needed to have the skills ASAP and no one was there to guide me. I had to get it done. I'm the type of belaga person where I remember going to my ex-manager and saying, I'm going to be the number one in 6 months' time. 4 months later, I was their number one. I didn't need any of their help. I didn't use anything of theirs. They taught me 1-2 concepts, which was useful, but to bring me to speak to people, that was something I had to teach myself. Because becoming an insurance agent, hello, who the hell wants to speak to an agent? Like, there's a method to speak to people. This wasn't taught by them. They only taught me, hey, when you go meet your friends, tell him you got no medical card. If you get hospitalized, how? If you die tomorrow, your family how? Come on, that kind of pitch won't work on people our age. The fear method doesn't work.
What is love? Love is so hard to achieve. It's hard to achieve because how would you know happiness if there's no sadness? We can turn it back to how would you know what is success if you're not failing? How would you consider success if you don't fail? Yeah. Alright? It's impossible. How do you know what is happiness if you always feel happy? So encourage bad things to happen is my key takeaways. So we're here at episode 11. It's crazy. And today it's very, very special because I finally get to speak English throughout the whole episode. It's my longtime friend, my guest here today. He is, we started off hating each other. That's true. And then we used to hate each other until the passion for, I think, photography or videography. Bonipo, yeah. A lot of things that our history together, we used to make funny videos, we used to do stupid things together. Basically, we both saw highs. And the most important thing that he's not Chinese. That is very important. I like friends who are non-Chinese actually and English speaking. That's because that's where I learned the most. In terms of speaking English, it helps me grow more. The way you think, the way you speak to other people, you get to connect with everyone in Malaysia because I feel like to me, the only language to bond together is by using English. So anyway, very proud to introduce my dear friend today, Saadh Singh Khalsa.
Yo, what's up?
Yeah, what's up, man? Just in but yo.
Yeah, you have to make sure the Lanlek is showing here.
Yeah.
So I'm simply sitting here to fulfill his quota, having the Indian here.
Yeah.
Hey, you're not Indian, right? You're Punjabi, right?
Oh,
On paper, mix lah, 50-50, 50%.
mixed with.
50% Punjabi.
Oh.
Guys, you have to get this straight. Every time when you meet a Punjabi, you always say, hey, he's Singh, right? But funny thing is, his middle name is Singh.
Punjabi people, the middle name for guys will have Singh.
We'll have.
Con
Oh.
confirm. And we'll have
Girl is what?
girl call.
Call.
The middle will always have call. Guys will always have Singh. Yeah, we didn't make up this, it's just part of the package lah.
Okay, so like, get this straight. They're not Singh, they're Punjabi.
Punjabi. You learned something new today.
Yeah. What else? Anyway, we're here to talk about your story today. Your story and your story based on your career. You started off with a family, with just a single mother, right? So obviously, I'm sure things are naturally more tougher for you when you are growing up. Is that true? Can I say that?
I mean, we did have a stepfather. We had a father before this, but he just simply did not work. So because he did not work, we were actually from Kajang. My mom thought, okay, if we shift to Singapore, there's a chance that my dad would actually get a job. But it kind of backfired. So when it backfired, and it ended up she working in Singapore and dad still staying at home.
Oh, okay. So like, the last thing that I remembered was, you said that your dad or your stepdad wasn't there for most of the time, lah, right? It's not doing anything much that I think enough for the family, lah, in terms of family. So like, how does this affect you yourself, your own thoughts? Okay, put it in your own words. How would it affect you in your career now?
I mean, there wasn't any fatherly figure at home. There was no one you could look up to. There was no one giving you, hey, son, you should sit. No one has called me son with. You should not be doing this. You should do this. This is how you should behave. So that figure wasn't there. So I only had my mom to look up to, and then I had a sister.
Was that enough for you? I mean, I'm sure that's all you can even have, right? So was that enough for you?
Enough, of course. If you ask me, enough. It could have been better, but that was the circumstance we had. So from what we had, we had to endeavor to make sure we can make the best out of it, lah.
Yeah. But I'm sure now you're doing quite well in terms of your development in your career, and you're also helping your mom out with. By the way, like Saadh's mom is actually a TikToker, a YouTuber. So, she's teaching a very unique concept, which you came up with, right? You came up for her, which is teaching English using Bahasa. That is really impressive. Like when I first heard of it, like, yo, that's so easy. What an easy concept, but no one has done it. Right? And up to a point where people actually copy you.
Right.
Your concept, right? And I want to ask, like, having one parent and then your sister, you said you got no fatherly figure whatsoever. Who would be most likely your closest to your father figure now?
Oh, she has some embarrassing to say, man, but I would say my current manager, lah. He would give me life tips. He would give me work tips. He would even tell me, hey, you should go for that girl. This kind of girl never touch. Seriously, trust me, never touch that kind of girl. She'll burn a hole in your pocket. So this is the kind of advice that was just lack since last time. So just whenever he speaks, I'll just like listen to him as a fatherly figure, lah. Of course, I'll never tell him to his face. So
yeah, bro, I feel like you are very throughout the years I've known you, right? I feel like you're a very emotional guy. Do you still cry at all?
Why?
cry. The last time was with a client because she was resisting on life insurance. Yes, so she is a single mother, and she told me that other agents did approach her before in 4 or 5 in a lifetime. She got conned terribly by them. Then after I understood what happened behind, I just asked her, okay, like now you have heard how it works. You have one son. There's literally no backup plan. And now, touch wood, should you not walk through that door one day, what is your plan for your son? So I was able to speak to her on this level simply because when the stepfather passed, we were handed over that life insurance money.
You helped her get her life insurance?
Yes, because no. We helped her get on board a life insurance policy.
Okay.
And the only reason she said yes is because I shared her my story. I would not be sitting with you here with you today had my family not received a life insurance policy, because that time was COVID. 2 months before COVID, the stepfather passed away. It's good and bad. Good is, I don't have to figure out how to get rid of him anymore. Bad as in we lost the source of income. So we were unaware that he had his own life insurance policy until someone said, hey, by the way, did you check whether he has an insurance? We were like, we don't know. So we gambled. We went to the insurance company with the desert, and we got a sizable portion back that kept us afloat for a couple of months.
Like the part when I asked you about what was the last time you cried, and you said it was this moment you cried.
Yeah.
It's because did you cry alone or cry with her or?
No, it's like a full-blown tear session. It was just like, there were tears in my eyes saying that, legit, you are only speaking to me right now simply because of an uncertainty. Is this uncertainty cause a concern with you? Because I was telling in my experience, if you say no, I won't bug you anymore. If you say yes, okay, let's get it done.
A lot of people will not. A lot of people are unaware of their own policies. That's number one. By the way, I did not introduce you. What you're doing now? You're doing insurance. You're an insurance agent. I think you are. How many years into this actually? Sum up.
Third year.
Third year.
Going to fourth year lah.
For the viewers who are listening to, you have sum up a total of 3 years in this industry, right? But your journey is very different from the typical journey of insurance of an insurance agent. So can you just like tell the audience a bit what your journey is? Because I know, she doesn't know. Can you tell what are the things that you have gone through?
To get into the insurance part. Before that, when we came up with the idea, because I lost my job, MCO obviously. My mom also lost her job. She was teaching IELTS at the institute in JB. Then COVID hit. When COVID hit, I just came to visit for a bit, but lockdown happened. So myself and a few other friends from uni, we had a partnership together. We couldn't sustain the company. So because of that, somewhere 2 months down the line, it only hit us that shit, there's no income coming in. What do we do now? So I was doing my yoga in my room. My mom was doing yoga outside, until when I was scrolling for my video, I suddenly saw Sugu Pavitra's video. Have you heard of these people?
Sugu Pavitra.
Yes.
No.
They are the first Indians in Malaysia to come up with a YouTube channel but speaking Malay. So now I was thinking, how can these people exploded simply because they were speaking Malay? And I checked the comments. Actually, yes. Everyone was fascinated. Their Malay was so good. And I went to my mom, we should do this. And she was like, what? We're not doing this. And she said, why? I said, think about it. The average kid, when they go to school to learn English, the teacher is speaking English. So for the Malay kid coming in, Malay kid doesn't know a single word. How is the Malay kid ever going to capture what that teacher is saying? So I said, this has been the problem for the longest time in Malaysia. No one came up with the solution. So I got nothing to lose. You got nothing to lose. How about we just make a YouTube video, learn English in Malay?
Yo, that concept, I could really much relate when you spoke of like this kid not even understanding that language itself. How are you gonna continue your years throughout your academic life? Because during my primary school life, it's a Chinese school, but I don't know much Chinese. Sadly, my English is not that good as well. I just watch a lot of cartoons, and that's how I got to know the language. And I prefer this language over Chinese. That indirectly, as well, at the same time, because my parents are not teaching me or like guiding me throughout the way of during my academic life, so they are busy working all the time. Learning Chinese is the toughest thing because I don't like it, and then nobody is teaching it properly. There's no proper teacher that actually, you just go through another year by another year, and if you don't catch up on the first year, which is standard 1, now how are you gonna continue standard 2, right? It's advancing, man. So by the time I reached like standard 3, 4, 5, like that, I'm doomed throughout, which made me went to remove, which made me fail my Bahasa also because everything is Chinese, and then I can't even pass.
No one actually knows your problem.
And no one knows my problem, and the teacher don't teach. So that was I was lucky enough to move out from the Chinese school to an English speaking school. Then only that was when I was 13, then only I realized that, now I can speak English and I can learn how to speak proper English. I can communicate in Mandarin, but I don't know a lot of words. Yeah, that's the issue. So I'm fortunate enough to change what do you call this? The system of learning lah. So I still took Chinese, but up till Form 3, and it was useless as hell. I feel in total from year Standard 1 all the way to Form 3, I only passed that subject once or twice. And there's many exams, right? Each year there's about 4 exams, maybe 5. So I only passed twice. That's what I remember. And the whole system of education is fucked up. That's why when I listen to your story about how you just got that idea, that concept, right? It's really interesting. And also the part where you started off as an insurance agent, you spoke of that guy just now who was doing this. That led to helping you and your mom to start the TikTok channel. So what about you? Because you are interested, because I remember the time when you posted on your Instagram story, there's this book.
The blue book, PCEC, yes, PCEC League, yes, I remember.
Yeah. So I was like, oh, dude, this guy is changing industry because you are supposed to be on the same industry as I am.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Am I right?
Yeah.
So, you are supposed to do production line.
Oh.
Yeah, the production industry. So I didn't know that suddenly you made such a big change. The fact that you didn't have a role model or no one to look up to for you to even consider what industry is right for you. You are a lone ranger that makes everything happen for yourself. And I think you know it because you've been through that stage. A lot of us, we have parents, oh, my dad's a banker, my mom is a musician. So naturally, I either fall into one of these categories. Okay, I started off as a music teacher, blah, blah, blah. But then I realized by doing events, I went into the production line. Because doing events, you need to record video and all this kind of stuff. That interests me. But I have a startup, same as everyone else. Even though you can argue that not everyone knows what they want to do, but there's always people who are way worse in that situation. That's your perspective. I feel like you have no idea because you took business studies in uni, right? So business studies is basically useless because it's
anything that ends with studies at uni is useless.
Yeah.
But I feel like I wasted way too much time in uni and I wasted a lot of money as well because I didn't learn anything that I could apply now. So your direction is harder, I would say, for anyone else that doesn't understand this. Your direction is very tough in the sense where you need to figure out your own from the beginning when you're a kid until now. The question I want to ask is, how long do you think you will last in this industry?
I think I'll stay.
Stay until
I'll do this for the longest time. Simply because if you were to fill up this entire unit or this building with agents, I can knock down every single one. Simply because agents do not know what they're selling. They do not know the backbone of it. They sell for the sake of selling and they give meaningless numbers.
So, those are the things that makes you different, right? That you are not that kind of...
We do need-based advisory. When we speak to you, if there's no need, I'll show myself out the door. But after speaking to you, we find out there's a gap there. Only I'll ask, okay, do you feel this is a concern for you? If it's a concern, we look into options. If it's not, okay, thank you for your time. Do you feel I could copy-paste this system with a few other people you know?
Just now I was speaking about your career in this industry. I think you haven't answered my question where we're supposed to talk about throughout why are you different from any other typical agents there? What have you been through? Yeah. And you start, because I actually know the story.
Yeah.
So when you just started, I remembered you saying that you joined this Chinese agency.
Yes.
Yeah. Can you elaborate from there again? So,
okay, the only reason I joined insurance in the first place is because before this, I used to do video editing and shooting. One video, I can set a price of 3,000. Minimum one video. This was back in 2020. But in JB, that market did not exist. Nobody wanted to invest in video marketing. So then I was thinking, okay, what do I do now? I went to job street. I think I sent my CV out to 100 over companies. Nobody came back to me. That's only if you cannot find a job, you try hard enough, you will find yourself into a sales job. And at first I did property. I died. Susah, really hard. I don't know how the property
How long
is.
did that last?
1 month.
1 month.
1 month. After 1 month, I saw no income. My mom also started getting a bit worried. No income because we were still making the YouTube channel.
Yeah.
We couldn't see any income from YouTube ads. Even students registering, we couldn't see. So I had to immediately get a job. So when nobody got back to me, I saw become a life insurance agent. And naturally, because a majority of insurance agents in Malaysia, it's Chinese dominated, okay. I saw two companies. One is Echelon and one is PGDU. One was full-blown English, one is full-blown Chinese. I was thinking, okay, the best people to learn from the Chinese. Okay, so when I joined, I got no insurance agent friends around me at Tatao. I did not know insurance agents, they hunt people down for recruitment. I really did not know. So when I got the job, I was thinking, hey, so fast can land the job one. I got the job. So I went to the interview. I was so desperate for a job, I did not notice. I was speaking to the manager. Beside her was a translator. Manager simply did not know what I was saying. And I went there innocently thinking, shit, I have to land this interview. I have to get the job or not. There's no food on the table. I really thought I aced that interview, not knowing that insurance companies look for people. Okay, so the only reason I said yes to them is because they said, hey, our agency, all Chinese, we speak Tina, you okay? I said, okay, as long as you can understand what I'm saying, and I can understand what you're saying, we should have no issue.
Mm-hmm.
I was so long. Okay. The first day when I joined for training, they had about 16, 17 people. The manager had no choice but to speak in English. Two people just gave me this look, this dirty look, saying that they didn't tell me, but I can see from their face, because of you, we are speaking English. And the moment I saw that, I was like, can I mind that?
It's not a good culture.
Yeah. The moment I saw this, I told my manager, you know what? You guys can continue having your training and I'll figure my way out. Asshole said, okay. So what I did was I bought books on human psychology. I bought books on selling. I bought books on, insurance. What makes people buy? Why do people buy? Understanding the buying behavior. So I finished about 10 books in a year. I've never done 10 books in a year, actually. Never done before, but simply because I needed to have the skills ASAP and no one was there to guide me. I had to get it done. So I'm the type of belaga person where I remember going to my ex-manager and saying, I'm going to be the number one in 6 months' time. So little did you know, 4 months later, I was their number one. I didn't need any of their help. I didn't use anything of theirs. They taught me 1-2 concepts, which was useful. But to bring me to speak to people, that was something I had to teach myself. Because becoming an insurance agent, hello, who the hell wants to speak to an agent? Like, there's a method to speak to people. This wasn't taught by them. They only taught me, hey, when you go meet your friends, tell him you got no medical card. If you get hospitalized, how? If you die tomorrow, your family, how? Come on, that kind of pitch won't work on people our age. Just the fear method doesn't work.
And see, it's quite special, isn't it? You are very lucky at the same time to have gone through that process, because otherwise you will not have, if they have been willing to teach you their ways, you still wouldn't be able to even trust yourself as an insurance agent. If you follow their ways, and I'm sure their ways are maybe using the fear method which you spoke of, I'm sure you will not be satisfied with your own points that you need to sell. You need to sell, right? You need to be convinced to sell.
Yeah.
But you yourself would not be convinced if that's the case, I think. So you're very fortunate that you had to go through all the struggles, which to me always is a good thing. And then we haven't finished about this story yet, about how you now landed a job at your current company. Only with that experience, you managed to make a very big decision, which is to leave that agency, right?
Okay.
And I know there's a lot of procedures that needed to be done because it's an AIA, company stuff. So the procedure is very different from, I'm not sure if there's it's just AIA itself or other insurance company.
Okay.
But you can explain more on that and how you went out.
Okay, so what my previous firm used to do is only 2 items, which is insurance and unit trust. So on my 3rd month, my ex-manager came to me and said, hey, you want to learn unit trust? I was like, what the hell is that? By the way, the answer is no, I don't want. I can't even do insurance properly. Don't add another financial product. So this happened on a Monday because the trainings happened on a Monday. So I rejected her the first Monday. Second Monday, she came back. She said, hey, you sure you don't want to go learn unit trust? I said, no, I don't want. I really cannot. No, you should go meet this team. They are a high-performing team. They got a few Indians also. Wow, straight went to racism. Got a few Indians, or you should meet them. I said, no, it's okay. I don't know. I don't want. Then she came back the 3rd Monday saying, hey, I think you should really go. Then, okay, I'm somebody who respects persistency. She was quite persistent in asking. I said, okay, never mind. I will go for your sake. So when she said a week before that they're high-performing, I did not believe until I saw the cars parked outside. Okay, they are significantly better, all German cars. That's the first thing that caught my attention. I went upstairs. I sat quietly in the corner. I remember seeing one Malay lady, full-blown LV. Tudong, baju kurung, everything LV, bag LV. I was like, okay, somebody is doing pretty well. Okay, so then, that's when my current manager walked in. His name is Deva. So, when Deva walked in, he made a very subtle English joke nobody picked on. I was like, okay, that's pretty funny. He started talking for about 90 seconds, then only it hit me. You are my manager, not her. That is when the whole plot of how do I leave current agency to join this guy. It became a hassle where in AIA, if you leave an agency, you want to join back, we wait 1 year. So that was the punishment period I was thinking of. I was 3 months in, and I already had a considerable amount of friends already signed up to me. So they just asked me, are you going to be in this business long term? I said, yes, I'm going to be here long term. So if I were to resign, the first people that are going to hate me are the people who signed up. So it took me a further 14 months to actually make the decision to leave. In that 14 months, I met Deva only 2 times. That 2 times speaking to him boosted my sales. Simply because he taught me to ask permission. You want anything from anyone, you ask them permission first. Number 2, you learn to ask the right questions. If you are talking more in a presentation, you are losing that guy's interest. If you are asking more, you're finding out information and you're seeing whether can you offer any solution to him or not. With these 2 things, I demolished my ex-manager's entire team. And then from there, she asked me, hey, can you coach us? So at first I was like, okay, I can teach you guys. But on the 2nd month of me teaching them, then only hit me. We good?
Yeah.
Okay, then only hit me. I'm learning so much. I'm going to work listening to podcasts. I'm going to work listening to audiobooks. I'm sacrificing my Spotify minutes. Last time in uni, you said my Spotify minutes were 180,000 per year. Now I'm doing 4,000 minutes. 5,000 minutes. Even when I come to KL, everything is audiobooks. So I'm sacrificing my music. I'm going back home. I'm making time to read books. And I'm thinking, why should I let go all of my gold to you guys when you guys dump me to the side? The first month is okay. I needed the experience to teach people. But they are here. I am here. I am bringing you to my level. Who the hell is bringing me here? That guy was Deva.
And then kind of feels like the time when I made the decision to jump industry from teaching music to wanting to at least explore these 2 industries, which is either in the event or videography, production stuff. So I ended up doing both, because sometimes they go hand in hand. Jumping the industry itself and making that decision of jumping the industry itself is very tough. But thankfully, I keep myself as a very open-minded person when it comes to doing this thing. It's a big step, but when you reach that step, right, it's always tough to begin. But it's easy for you because you have seen a goal. Someone has shown you a goal already, correct? And you can learn from that person. Same thing when I want to jump into this, I have no idea what the heck I'm going to do of who I'm gonna meet. People I don't even know. I don't even know anyone in KL because all our friends in uni are doing their own shit. So it's good to know that finally I've come to a company that values my work and also let me explore different things. Even now we are staying at our office, so I have the liberty to do whatever I want. But that comes also with a cost where I need to somehow balance out everything that I do. Because I'm only one person, the team is not that big. So in your perspective, right, how does your work now, you're juggling between your mom's YouTube video and stuff like that, you're juggling between your career. I think for you, there will be uncertainties in some point where you feel like what's going to be next. Will you feel that way, or like what's the higher ambition for you out of this thing right now?
The higher ambition, I would say, is to build a team. Because there are so many poorly planned insurance policies out there where people simply do not know what they're paying for. So I'm just one of me. I need more of me's out there doing proper work.
Do you think it's unique to educate yourself?
This is seeing the person itself, whether they see this as an opportunity or are they going to put a mental block on themselves. So it's definitely not going to be easy. I don't understand why other insurance agents, they all promote being an agent, work-life balance. Mostly this, be your own boss, which is okay. But the work-life balance, there's no such thing. You want to earn the big bucks, you'll be prepared to put in the time. I mean, I myself, yesterday and today, 10 appointments in 2 days. The average agent does what? 10 appointments in when? 8 days, 9 days? I'm doing it in 2 days.
How long have you, when was the last time you had a rest? And like, you said from date, every single day you have full schedules and stuff like that. Do you take a day off?
Yeah, I take a day off when I get sick. Okay, no, legit, that's number one. Number two, because I work so hard, I get company vacations. So yeah, Cameron Highlands have been unlocked. A Star Cruise has been unlocked. Vietnam has been unlocked. So this year the company is going to Shanghai and see if I want to qualify for that.
Yo, you've qualified for all those places. Have you been in any of them yet?
They are this year. Means like, for example, the Star Cruise is end of next month.
So this upcoming Star Cruise will be your first vacation from the whole true.
No.
3 years.
Okay, if you want to count 3 years, alamak, we skip too much of the day. See, the issue with our question, they keep talking too fast. I've not answered you, even the first question.
I'm still waiting.
That's fine. It's a very because the whole point of the podcast is about telling the story, and I don't think you'll be able to tell one part of the story without going there. I'm saying, it's perfectly fine. I jump all the time.
Okay.
It's fine. But like that, so the upcoming Star Cruise is not the first time you actually get an incentive out of right?
I've won 2 incentives, but I was not smart enough to take it. I cashed out.
Oh,
like I said, I was not smart. I did not know the company, when it comes to vacations, they really treat you like a king. I did not know.
Oh.
Yes.
Like how? You don't need to.
I wouldn't know. I haven't been.
Oh,
But based on experience, they say yes.
Oh.
They treat you like a king. Kenanga will make you royalty. You get air flown by a helicopter to some destination. That's Kenanga. So these financial institutions, they will really spend big on their guys. You performer? Oh, okay, I'm going to treat you well, so you never leave us. But it comes with the non-work-life balance.
You cashed out.
I cashed out simply because I just didn't know the value of a vacation until the work I'm doing right now. I was actually kind of happy yesterday. One person cancelled my 7 p.m. because I was so sleepy. Then I still had a 9 p.m. after that.
So basically, you and I do not have work-life balance.
Oh no, it's just work always.
Yeah. I think you both of you still on the ways of starting your business? Like,
Well, technically, like he said, being your own boss, technically you can't.
Yeah.
You can't in this industry.
You are your own boss and you are your own employee.
yeah.
So have fun listening to yourself. If you're not disciplined, if you're unable to pull yourself to the office, no one's gonna push you.
Yeah.
There's no income after that.
I'm thinking when you said the team just now, because
Building a team.
building a team must be the hardest thing. It has to be the hardest thing. I feel like the skill that you must have is the skill of filtering who's good and who's not. And nobody can ever teach you that, how to filter out people, because you're not experienced in finding people, recruiting people, others. I mean, to share, and then at the same time, when you talk about sharing the same honor among your team, right? Thinking wise, how you work, what is your, basically your personal values. You bring up your personal values that you must actually care for the team, care for the clients and stuff like that. That will be the hardest part for you in terms of finding the right people. But when you do, I'm sure you have achieved another skill set, which is knowing who is good and who's not, because you can never tell from each person. Like, they might be impressive at first, but they always end up maybe disappointing you. That's how I feel like when it comes to working in a team, because first of all, I don't get to choose my people out. I must work with whoever I have. Working with whoever I have is very limited because they don't share the same. They can share the same passion. Oh yeah, I actually love taking videos. I love production and stuff like that. When I talk to you about the basics of a camera, right, you can learn that those people can actually, okay, yeah, ISO is this and aperture is this, shutter speed is. Within one day itself, they'll forget that. That's number one. And even if they forget, when we go out for projects and stuff like that, you will not do your own research. That is disappointment itself. And it's very hard to tell, basically. It's very hard to tell how to influence a person's mindset to be like yours, or to have the slightest of you inside, Isn't it? You look at me at it. No, it's possible. I feel like it's still possible. I'm not giving up on what I believe should work. I believe whatever I think that works will work. I just have to find a way to make it work. And I feel like you and I have always the same thoughts, because no one is there to guide us. Now you do. Now I do as well. But when it comes to you yourself as a person, it will still be hard for you to think about, how am I supposed to influence this specific person that I want? For example, or you don't know whether he is the right one or not, he or she is the right one. So my idea, my perspective of it is by showing. But you must have them look at you when you do it. Okay, my industry is, of course, there are people around me because I need help. You are a lone ranger. I feel like as an insurance agent, it's quite hard to build a team at the same time, especially in your case, you are one person yourself. I don't want to talk about your company's team, but you yourself, because you said you might be your own boss, right? You can be your own boss. So when it comes to recruitment, how are you going to recruit when you're always working alone?
That is going to be one of the biggest challenges, because in insurance, there's only 3 paths you can choose. Either you be a superstar salesman, or you be a superstar recruiter, whereby your job is just to get people, teach them how to do. They do the job, you just provide the coaching. Or you be the hybrid. There's only very few people in Malaysia who can be a hybrid. One
Who are successful
in both.
Yeah.
The superstar salesman, and somehow you're the superstar recruiter. For example, then when a new person does join, I have to join their appointments. I have to conduct the appointment so newbie can watch how it's done. Because newbie needs to know how the work is done, the tonality used, how to ask questions. That is my time being used up. If that in person in the end, the prospect we speak to says no, I would have lost my time. That guy would have got his, his learning experience. But for me, that's a gone time. So that is the investment of time that as the leader we have to do. Whether it becomes something or not depends on this person's capability and wantingness to follow up and get better at the job immediately. So that is going to be the challenge, which is, example, my goal for this year is to get 12 new people, which is 1 person per month. As of now, I think I'm doing 3 people. Yes. So there's a whole application stage going on. So as of Jan, 3 people have indicated interest. I met another person yesterday, so it made 4.
Question like, did you get these people from social media?
Nah, that's the beauty of it. So how we do our work is we value the customers who sign up with us. For example, you yourself are a client. I will be seeing you twice a year. Once a year, simply to lepak. We're busy, but catch up. Yeah. Number 2 is for work. In the work, after we've done our yearly review, then only ask you, okay, Edward, on a scale of 1 to 10, how do you feel my job is tough? Now, many people, because I'm the one doing the presentation, they say, actually, no, looks pretty smooth, okay? Then I'll ask you back, do you know anyone that could replicate what I do if they're given enough guidance? So you would give me people to call. And that is how those 4 people joined. I simply asked my existing clients, do you feel what I do is hard?
So everyone is offline, huh? There's no social media.
Social media got one person joined from TikTok. But I would prefer the people who give me contacts are the people who know me before. Because social media, like it or not, is still cold market. It's still strangers to me. They really don't know me.
I was hoping that you would say we get all your leads or all your guys from social media, because I was trying to promote creating content as a thing.
When I think content does work.
Yeah, however, you're in a different situation, that's all. You want quality people, I think offline is still the way to go lah-ish, right? They still know you as a person.
Yes and no, because offline people, whoever sign up with me via TikTok, I'll still come and meet them face to face. For example, tomorrow I'm meeting 2 guys who picked up a policy both in Jan and December. I said I'll be there in end of the month, shall we meet? So at least the guy knows, okay, this guy is legit, he's coming out, it wasn't a touch and go. So of course, online is good, but in terms of building your brand, it's easier to speak to people. You say, oh, I know that guy. I got a few people who signed up with me simply saying that, hey, I don't know what you just said, but I'm signing up because I know you. I was like, okay.
Yeah, are you curious about what he does?
I'm more curious about like how you approach people. Just now you said you more towards like asking people questions instead of hard selling, speaking your own language like that. Can you share a bit for like maybe for us?
Example.
Is this social skills? She wants social insurance.
Okay, let me give you the best example. When one of your friends become an insurance agent, what's the first thing they'll say on Facebook or Messenger or Insta? What is it they'll say to you?
Yeah, you want to help? Are you free?
Are you free? Want to go Yamcha? Hey, you got medical card no?
Nah.
4. These 4 major lines, of which minus the 4th one, 1, 2, 3, never tell your actual intention behind. They never say. So by the time, let's just say I haven't spoken to you in 10 years, out of nowhere, you get a message from me saying, hey, jom makan. And you innocently thinking, oh shit, I've never seen Saadh in so long, let's go makan. I suddenly pull up a brochure, personal accident, critical illness. You'll be thinking, oh my god, some AI become ayah. So that's how people spoil the market. So when Deva said ask permission first, I started thinking, okay, how is a good method to approach my friends who I've never spoken to the longest time for them to give them a sit down with me? So I come up with surveys. My surveys, the titles are very blunt and bold, which is, for example, Saadh's way of finding out whether he can sell you something. Now, that's a very interesting title. I say, shit, what do you want to sell me? I say, okay, let me click on the thing. So from there, there'll be a list of questions and they're automatically filtering themselves. Whether are they a potential candidate or not. And if better yet, even if they say the answer is all yes, towards the end, there's a section saying, if you want to be contacted, leave your number. So now I get permission to call them. I just gave you my secret, right?
It has to be Okay, so we're back. Okay, she was asking more towards like, you are a very sociable person. Said ever since I met you, even though we hated each other, I say like, oh, I always hang out with the girls, the Chinese girls.
I said that, man, or you said that? Yeah.
You
The statement is that. Yeah, I said that was an observation.
Yeah, observation. You think that I was always blah blah blah, but then skip through that part, that phase when I know you and I talk to you that time. You're the first person aside from Azim. Okay lah, but then you're the second person. You're the second person who showed me multiple ways of getting through with life, getting through communication stuff. Because I was always interested because I'm not able to communicate correctly. Right, I don't know the ways on communicating, but talking to you as a friend, and also we stay together. We used to be housemates. NC 808, shout out. You guys don't know what that means, but that's our unit number. That was our unit number. Every time we hang out and we talk, like I'm always the one listening. If you want to talk about social skills, and you're not good, and you know you're not good, then you listen first lah. I think you listen more than you talk. Of course, you have to give input as well. Like you listen and then you just know how to run with it. You have to be both good at asking questions, at the same time good at listening. And you must actually care about that.
Yeah.
I feel like a lot of people, they want to learn social skills. I want to upgrade myself. I want to talk to more people. I'll make more friends like that. That's my New Year resolution or whatever. But they do not have the slightest idea of what it takes, or how it takes for me, for example, to get from where I am today. Because I'm not even good at speaking English. I just know how to listen to people speaking English, like watching cartoon last time when I was young, to jumping to a place where I need to speak, and then I need to learn speak well, basically. And up till today, right, so many years later, I feel like it's China as hell.
But your Chinese not China.
From a Chinese standpoint, you think that Edwards is more like a banana, blah blah blah, right? That's not really much of that case, because I don't have any other choices. I'm bad at my Mandarin. English is the only way I can understand. Means I have to try my best to speak it out. A lot of Chinese cannot speak English. I think the root of the problem is because you don't mix around with.
Yeah.
So, that's very obvious, right? You need to always want to mix with them. You cannot think that, I don't even know what to say. So, like now, you say you want to learn social skills, especially when speaking, communicating in English. So, you have to take the effort to really ask more questions, even though you know you suck.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I'm not afraid of letting other people know that I suck at speaking. So long as you can understand me, I'm more than happy to Even when sometimes I used to use the word cutted. I used to write on my Facebook post. Looking back at my Facebook post last time, it was very stupid because there was once I posted a post on Facebook saying that I just cutted my hair.
Cutted your hair.
I just cutted my hair. Like I said, I'm not good in English also. I just watch cartoon, and somehow I was lucky enough to speak to those people. But when it comes to me giving input, right, about my Facebook post or when I'm talking, I always realize that I'm rough, grammatically and stuff like that. So that's a skill that we have. The skill
That's a communication skill, not about the language, I think.
Why is it not important for... I mean, it's of course important for the language part to be number one. I feel like it's number one. I also think that in Malaysia, right, for us to unite, it's very, very biased lah. But I feel like we all should speak English. Or we just agree upon speaking in one language. Because that's unity lah. Right? Taiwan only speaks Mandarin. Americans only... can't say that, but most of Americans speak English.
But that will be boring, I think. If only one language, then we can't learn other things.
You can't learn culturally. And,
Yeah. if you speak like you speak Chinese, you speak English, the culture is very different.
But unity is the issue. I mean, a lot of us kind of like thinking about Chinese people. We are a bit. I'm sure everyone's a little racist when it comes to stuff like that. It's a very sensitive topic. I wish not to talk about it, but I will leave it behind by just saying that if you want to learn the other language, you must have the heart to be wrong. That's what I'm trying to say. And then you must dare yourself to always be wrong. So like we were speaking just now when you said, I said you are very fortunate to have all these unfortunate events. That will be the best lessons that you learn. And whether you want to be a motivational speaker in the future, like who the heck knows, right? Who knows? You are good at communicating with people outside other than your work. As a friend, as a just casually talking and stuff like that. You are good at that because I learned from the UX. So you are all these events that happen to you. It's very I want to absorb your mistakes as well. This is why we started the whole podcast. Lanlekdeology is basically I know as a person I cannot experience what other people has experienced, and because of my daring to be wrong and daring to say the wrong things or maybe even sensitive things, I don't know. You know the thing about just how I was talking about racial stuff. Josh, one of my guests here, on the first episode, I opened up this topic for a short while. He straight away said like, "Oh no, we're not gonna talk about this. It's pretty sensitive. Every day there's sensitive thing to talk about. There's always they will make a lot of mistakes lah." I feel like I still need to talk about it because this is my experience from here and at that moment. So immediately I stopped. Because if I go into this topic, it will be tough to get out of it. You get to the whole political or maybe the whole Malaysia. We're talking about that people hate if people actually listen to you and this is a controversial thing, and then they cut for you. It's a good thing lah. You might be, wow, your name is out there. We call this infamous. You're there be as infamous person. Famous is for the good, but infamous for the bad.
No.
So no bad ideas are actually bad. You still bring you the result you wanted, just in very different way. So let's come back a bit where I was talking about your life and your journey, because I want to kind of link what she wants to learn at the same time. Because aside from your work, actually today's topic, I want to get to know you more, because I want other people to understand you as a person who is very unique. I want people to learn from you the fact that those people who are listening might have everything in it, might have families too, or that which they don't really appreciate. Your life, how you get through with it. I know you went to Singapore to work, get the income to go to uni. So not a lot of people get to experience that kind of stuff that you experience. The fact that you are still striving your own way, right, has built a very strong person. Because like my previous guest has also said, the people who are unfortunate or have less will always be built to be strong. And the people who has more will always be the weakling. Right? So do you agree with what I'm trying to say now?
Yeah, to an extent, yes.
Yeah. A lot of people who have the privilege of, for example, your work now, those other agents, they just go through the system. They will not know what you are trying to teach or what you are trying to tell other people. Other insurance agents will not understand you because they have the system to follow in the first place. It's easy to involve back to the system. So you are doing something that probably is too unique for other people to understand. And you always need to prove yourself right for the time being. Even though also previous guests have said that at the young age we want to be right, but when you get older, you know that sometimes you can't be right at everything. But I feel like when he said that, because he's older than I am, my guest Josh, he said that. But I feel like, okay, I've absorbed your knowledge, I've absorbed what you're trying to tell me, because I really want to learn, and I'm open to whatever you say. I'll keep that in mind. Every time I do podcasts, these lessons are kept in my head, and every time I rethink about it. So, but taking back to today, you and I are almost same age, so very close. We still need to try to prove that we're right. I feel after even understanding what he's trying to say, I still feel that we need to try to be right when we're young, because we're trying to prove one thing to ourselves, the value to ourselves that, yeah, I was right. Only when that big message is correct, but inside there might be a lot of wrongs, You understand what I'm trying to say? This idea is correct.
Yeah.
But how you get to that idea, a lot of parts might be wrong. Some you hit correct, what you think is correct. Like what I think, if I want to recruit a person, I think that by doing or saying this kind of stuff will, like how you do a survey and stuff like that, I think by doing this survey, I will be able to reach out to them heart to heart, because you are a very straightforward person, you want to get straight to the point, ask permission and all this kind of stuff. Good skills. However, it's still your perception of what is right and what is wrong. So, yeah, it's like that. It's like that. You need to prove that you're right. But in between, I'm sure you also experience a lot of wrongs. The mistakes that you've made. And you made a lot of mistakes in your life. I've heard of it because, but since the audience doesn't know, what is one of the worst mistakes that you had made?
Hanging out with the wrong people. So back in 2013, when I was working in Singapore, I did buy this thing called Bitcoin.
I didn't know you buy Bitcoin.
In 2013, I bought Bitcoin.
Right. I think I remember. Okay.
No, I bought Bitcoin at $200. And I was working in Singapore. $200, can't feel my USD and Sing dollar can't, not much of a diff.
Yeah.
So when I did share the news to my colleagues, who at that point of time all suddenly became financial consultants with SPM certificates, they all gave me shit like, hey, why don't you go buy Bitcoin? It's not all garbage, whatever nonsense, just kept on affecting me. So after I saw it increased value by like $100, I sold it off. So I was like, okay, I made a quick $100. Fast forward 2017.
How many Bitcoin were bought?
I had $200 worth. I sold it off at $300 worth. I don't know how many that is worth. $300 worth in 2017, if I'm not mistaken, was worth about 1.4 million.
US.
And
now it's crazy.
So, the biggest mistake is simply to hang around wrong people. If I want to become a Ferrari, I cannot be hanging around Kancils and Canaris. If you are the Kancil and you know you can become a Ferrari, you go hang out with the Ferraris. Eventually, you'll become the next one.
Talking about cars, you're a car guy as well, right? You drive a Merc. I don't know. There's part of me where every time my guests so far, right? Luckily, at the same time, they're all car guys. We all like cars. We all love cars. And you guys have group or whatever group that you guys hang out with, car gangs. But at the same time, you came from a background where you don't have all these. Last time you guys drive Kachil. The country is still around Kilisa, yeah.
There are two Kilisas in the family. One got towed away because never did the repayment. The other, we gave it back to the original owner. So we had no cars under our name. only until we strive to get the family business out. We managed to own 2 German cars at home for the first time. And before this, it was either walking or public transport, or using a Khalsa with no air conditioning because we simply didn't have enough money to get a fix.
What do you think about as a insurance agent? Do you think that it's very important for you to have a German car?
I do my best not to fall into that. But unfortunately, society looks at this. Society looks at what you have. Society looks at how you dress. Society looks at what car you have. So before the work can even begin, they're already judging you a mile away. How you walk, what car you come in with. So this already sets a tone. For example, an insurance agent, I cannot be... If I get referred to somebody and I didn't get my GT86, a business person or someone elder than me be thinking, what kind of toy car does that guy own? However, if I were to come in E-Class, that they'll be thinking, oh, okay, this guy is significantly somewhere. Unfortunately, this is how society thinks. It's not that I want to, but initially the car I wanted to get, I think I remember telling you before, was the GT86.
Yeah.
And because I could not get that GT86 because the banker told me, hey, you insurance agent, 50% of your clients might leave you. They took my pay divided 2. I was not eligible for the loan. Even after putting a hefty down payment, this simply was not eligible for the loan. Then one of our buddies in our car gang, he was letting go of his A-Class. So I was thinking, okay, this car is suitable. I did the math. Okay, I can afford the car.
So you did directly with...
Unfortunately, this is where lack of action made me pay more. That guy wanted to sell me the car for 95k. But at that point of time, I was like, no, I still want the 86. Then after I couldn't find the car, I called him back up. Hey, your car's still on sale or not? He said, no. Sold to the dealership already. So he gave me the Muda link. Quickly went and saw the car. 115k.
Cool.
So that was a $20,000 mistake.
It's a bit it's like the car is an asset, a tool for you.
Yeah.
Depending on your line of work. If you are the doctor and you legit use that car to and fro, you're in that car for what? A total 2 hours per day out of 24 hours, and that car is not helping you bring in income, then having that expensive car is useless. But in our case, our car is our moving office. I would want to look at something nice. I would want to be in something comfortable. It's a moving office for us. So if your car does not help you generate revenue, it's a cost for you. But in our case, it generates revenue.
What a fight it has been for you that to reach from a family-owned Khalsa, not family-owned Khalsa, to driving what you think wasn't achievable, probably
we never knew there'll ever be a Benz in the family.
Yeah.
But me and my mom, after we had to get rid of the second Khalsa, we just parked the Volkswagen at the side of the house because we know that house can fit in 2 cars. I just said, take the Volkswagen, park at the side. There's going to be a Benz parked there one day. We had this thinking for 1 year.
Oh. Is it like law of attraction?
No, we just told ourselves there is going to be a Benz parked here one day. Same thinking I had with the YouTube silver plaque. I told myself we are going to have the silver plaque on the wall. So, the law.
Yeah, it's part of.
To an extent, yes. At the same time, knowing where you want to go and doing what it takes to get there.
Yeah.
No, because like previously we did talk about law of attraction and law of vibration or whatever. My guest Josh said, meditate. You would meditate as well. I feel like there's a lot of coincidences between who I'm around now and with you. I feel like, damn, these things are not new. Because you have told me this before. He does meditation. We used to do yoga together, but that's not meditation. He's always chasing higher stuff. It's always ambitious for him.
Mm-hmm.
I look at him as a very ambitious kind of guy. So the fact that he said no is he just sees it. He doesn't think of the word law of attraction.
Yeah.
However, it doesn't mean anything if you don't fully understand yourself. It doesn't mean anything because when you say just it's like law of attraction.
Yeah.
I said no, I just see it. He doesn't need the word to clarify because he said when I said yeah, you can say that, you can say it's a law of attraction, but it is. If you put it in a word it will be the law of attraction. But to him,
I think it's a belief for him and positive thinking.
he just knows it.
Yeah.
Somehow he sees things that he know will be achieved. But how he does this, right? Looking back to from his starting of his life, till now, the struggles and all that kind of shit, the mistakes that he has done, has led him to this point where he's able to do that. It's in his nature. I try to see that because I always want to see that kind of stuff as well, and I want to believe that's true. I can be quite negative. I can be very aggressive at the same time. So knowing that is one thing, but how to change that and be, like you said, believe in something and actually get that something, right? It takes a lot of sacrifice, a lot of actions, a lot of bad events, unfortunate events that happen in order for all to come to this thing. So a lot of successful people always say that, if you listen to all those gurus on YouTube or motivational speeches, it always tells you that, oh, you have to do this and you do that. Sometimes whatever they say, right, the answer is so laid out in the most simplest words, right? It's put on your face. Everyone listens to it and be like, yeah, cool. But the next day it's like, fuck it, happy with my life, I think. Right? So that nobody will understand that sentence until something bad has happened. I feel like that the bad things that happen in life is very crucial to build the character of actually wanting something and living in something. Because same meaning when it goes to this. What is love? Love is so hard to achieve. Think about it. It's hard to achieve because you would not know happiness and sadness, the difference between that. How would you know happiness if there's no sadness? We can turn it back to how would you know what is success without failing? How would you consider success if you don't fail?
Yeah.
Alright? It's impossible. How do you know what is happiness if you always feel happy? So encourage bad things to happen is one of my key takeaways, which is why we always do 高级技. It means we always bring problems to ourselves, and we always do the hardest things. That you chose not to sleep well, right? You chose this life of full schedule. You chose everything. You're on your own. You can't complain, right? You want this at the same time. You feel like, damn, this is so hard. But you chose it, and you cannot complain, and you just kept on doing it. We are at a flow. I think both of us are at a flow where it's so front, we're running like horses, and we cannot stop. We don't know how to stop. We're at the stage where we don't stop anymore, and that's where we don't want vacations. We don't really want. That's why you cash out of. We don't want to enjoy. We just
Not time yet.
Yeah, it's not time yet. We want pain, more mistakes, more and more mistakes.
To grow.
Yeah, because I made so many mistakes within this 1 year itself. Like I get to know my limitations. Without doing that, I wouldn't have known my limitation. But by doing so many mistakes, that only I know, damn, actually I suck. But how to, come back from that? That is something I'm still learning. Am I putting it in a good way, like good, because I'm trying to sentence it correctly? Whatever I said, do you agree with what I'm trying to say?
Can't just give me an essay like that and catch me. Time for that commercial break.
I mean, probably he's not too good at explaining whatever that I just said, because these things are very subconscious.
You just can't see it yet.
Yeah, I tend to ask questions where it's usually not too common. I always try to ask questions where it links to who you are as a person. I'm really trying to understand who the guest is. Luckily for me today, it's because we have been together for so long already. How long has it been?
2014.
2014? 10 years. Time flies, man.
Oh, you met in uni.
Time flies so hard, and especially now. I always tell like anyone who say like, "Oh, event is coming, it's so stressed." I always tell them it's just a blink of an eye. You have no idea how fast it. I always try to tell people that you think it's hard, you just blink your eye, you'll be gone already. When it's on, there'll be new things.
Only when you work really hard, then you can feel how fast the time go.
Yeah. Exactly what I'm trying to promote, because people who don't have aim or goals in their life, they don't know what they want. Basically, there's a bad word, the bad way to put it, where you are aimless or whatever. But that's the fact, lah. You don't have goals in your life, time passes very slowly.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
When you finally agree on one goal that you're gonna have, time flies like mad. And then we're fighting to gather time. I always think back like it. Hence the team. Hence our fight now is to get people who can make me time. The reason why I'm sure you want a team, because you want more sales. Maybe you want more. You want to expand your work as an individual. You want to expand to a few people. So aside from that, you want time as well. I believe that you want your time, and one day you will be able to enjoy. The catch is, you will never know. When would you know when to stop?
Oh no, there's an answer for that. Yes. We really have to know when are you going to stop. I do know for a fact I will stop actively finding customers by the age of 40. 1 year, 100 customers. I'm good enough. 10 years is 1,000 customers. In terms of gaining wealth, as soon as I get my airplane license, I'll stop. Because there's only so much you can constantly want. You go for this particular car, you see someone else has a faster car, you want that faster car. Cannot lah. You get a yacht, you see somebody with a mega yacht. Cannot lah. You're constantly chasing something bigger. So if you know when to stop, if you know when content is content for you, then I feel that should answer your question just now.
However, I feel like my perspective is that you might get bored. Though we have not reached to a stage when we get bored of our successes. So can just settle this one. Quite hard to say that, because one of the sacrifices of running like a fucking horse is that
everything passes by.
Everything passes by. And now when you achieve already, right, and you look at it, well, what? You look at the mountain, you're so high up.
Wow, not only are you so high up, you look behind, you're the only person there.
Yeah.
Nobody matched your speed.
And hence why I say, like, it's impossible. I will question your belief when you said I will settle for this. I don't think so. It's not so easy for you.
Why?
I understand that feeling that you're in control. When you reach wherever you want to reach, that's when you have to remember that you might feel bored. So it's gonna be a lifelong journey. For people who have a goal, right, will always run. They run forever. It's like a music that never ends. They keep playing that chorus. How do they end the music? They fade out. Music wants you to know that it goes on forever. That's the meaning of the fade out. It's pop, because the song is so fucking high already, you know what I'm saying? It will always be running. I feel it. I mean, you can prove me wrong.
Yeah, I can.
Yeah.
The phone. Sorry, with the phone. When I got this phone, I think iPhone 14 was out. I had the choice and I had the funds to choose between the basic iPhone 12 and going for the full-blown iPhone 14. But I simply chose this because I knew this was enough. Why should I spend additional 3,000 on something that just because it's new, latest? This can do everything an iPhone 14 can. Okay, fine. Minus a bit of camera quality. But still, having the best camera quality, in my opinion, having the best camera quality, but no one watching your stuff is redundant. So for me, I felt this was enough. This is good to go to get me where I need to go.
I want to ask you a question. Just imagine that you have a car gang, right? Yeah, what's the highest spec of car do you think you are content with?
Content.
Yeah.
Every car has different purpose.
Oh, when it comes to phone, okay, I can settle with.
No, listen. Every car has different purpose. There's the car you want to use on a weekend. There's the car where the moment you sit, for example, I give you a Lambo. On the first day, it's going to feel like a Lambo. You use that Lambo for 30 days, it's going to feel exactly same as a Klisa. Get you from point A to point B.
I understand the point. Actually, I'm not trying to get into that topic. The question I want to ask is, for example, your car is a Lambo, your weekend car, call it that, because you're successful already. I want you to imagine that time. So, what do you think you would do when you're driving that car? What's the next excitement for you? Okay, the car is good, brings you excitement for yourself. What's the next thing?
Well, you mentioned just now, airplane license. So I don't want to own an aircraft, small one. Even the conceal of aircraft is going to set you aside 1.5 million. No point owning one. I have no intention to own one. That one's already Tansili level. No point. Just to be able to fly. Because you can only go so fast in a car. That's all.
Previous guest Josh as well, he is actually getting his plane license, aviation. Because I've interviewed with him many times, not interviews, podcasts with him many times. It feels like an interview though, because I'm constantly just absorbing what can I do at the stage, So anyway, his background blueprint is somewhat relatively-ish similar to yours, whereas, it's a struggle constantly. So I asked him how do you feel now having everything? Say it's bought. And that made me think about, as a Chinese probably, I don't know is it a Chinese mentality or not, but what he says is true because it's there already. We will not know when we are there until we are there. Yeah, that's the beauty of it. Every guest that I do podcast with, right, try to absorb everything, but you will never know exactly what they mean. I'm just trying my best to at least know it. Because knowing it is the first step, I think. But feeling it and emotionally feeling it and your logical sense come in, both fighting against each other, how the thinking brain would be, how can you be okay with this, content with this thing? The emotional side, we're always trying to drive that conscious car, right, that I spoke of last episode as well. I'm trying to get towards the emotional side because the logical side always will be the guy with the map that draws the line. This is the destination. The emotional brain will always be thinking let's do this, let's do this. Getting your plane license, yes, that's aviation license, will be one of a very good goal to achieve. Have you tried skydiving?
No. That's not the same.
No,
I just falling out of a plane once flight. I want to be the guy flying the plane, getting those people to jump, go. Not same. Not same.
Why would you want to do that?
No.
It's very special. I feel like so far our conversation as we have come to a point where I try to understand.
One is falling, one is flying.
I can understand you have very logically drawn that line. It made me wanted to open the topic about this thing, the thinking way and the emotional brains. However, we still have 10 more minutes ish. We can go on, but I feel like it's been, there's too much to digest. But quickly, just to come to this part, where I want to really know what you are thinking. And you must try your best to know what you're thinking, logically and emotionally, because this is where it gets, whatever you say, you have to believe it. Again, you understand translation. So, what do you think? What kind of, are you a logical person or emotional person? Who has the higher percentage?
Well, me, a guy, it's always logical first.
But do you know that you're always driven by your logical side?
Why no? No, don't know. Talk.
But why you ask him just now? Do you still cry at all?
For a guy, it's quite hard to cry. But and the last time I cried was in front of you.
From
That was at the breakdown of like, don't know where I'm going. Emotionally, because we only strive for that one thing. We know the goal, but sometimes it's way too hard. Then you climb up. I guess asking that question is like knowing that person very, very well, because he told me that his answer was he cried last time. He had tears in his eyes because of that client. Blah blah blah. That means he really, really genuinely care about what's going on in other people's life. That could itself link to what he has got in his past, what and he doesn't have. His blueprint. It's just like it feels like the satisfaction is given to him when he helped out with that family. It makes him feel like it was in his shoes, right? It would have meant a lot. That is the kind of differentiates people apart. Yeah. So you said you don't know whether you're always logical or not. I've met people who looks like they are really, really logical. And seriously, whatever they do is fucking logical. But then I'll catch them. Well, I want to get the point where we don't know. Because it's nice to linger around the emotional state. It's easy to be emo, you know. It's easy to listen to sad music and just probably like smoke, whatever, drink, and get influenced by relationship issues. We have friends who linger around the relationship problem, and that has affected their life. To really understand yourself, right, we have to ask the question is, how much emotion plays a role in my life? Because whatever decision I make, I know at any point of time I will feel this way or feel that way. So what is right, what is wrong? That's where the logical brain is like, damn, I'm too tired already. Sometimes like the emotional is really driving me out of my way. I'm sure you are also a very emotional person because of your blueprint. Made you think that you need to build a wall or like a strong personality out there. But like deep down, you really want the most simplest thing. I think from my friendship with you, I feel like it's love. And like I said just now, love is a very hard thing because things can be so damn simple, but so damn difficult at the same time. And I know that you are striving for that. The work that you do now has linked with your need for love, your need for helping other people to get that satisfaction, because it's like a whole community. You feel like the community is working together to. That is your like main goal. The mission is whatever you're doing now, right? So, am I saying it wrong?
Well, of course.
Or do you feel better when you help any of your clients, like really help them, and then thanks to you? Do you feel better when you face that kind of situation?
I just know I'm doing the right thing. That's all. And how to do the right thing is one of it is also by telling them my story as well, of which, I would not be here if the life policy didn't save us. Like I was just recalling my story, I think 2 days ago when the MERS actually rosak tepi jalan, I said a line where it just got me thinking, shit, this is how people think of insurance. He asked me, how come you don't have power bank? I just told him, this wasn't supposed to happen. This wasn't supposed to happen. So then again, who plans for the bad stuff? Our car works 364 days out of 365. Are you planning for that one day? I obviously did not plan for that one day, and that's the one day that my car gave up on me. Did I exactly answer your question? Nope.
Well, yeah. Like I said, it's a very tough question to give an answer to me. It leaves a thought for everyone. I'm not good at phrasing it, that's the issue. I believe that one day I will crack that code of, you know how motivational speakers are, or motivational courses are, those leadership training camp or whatever. Like, they make you cry. They make you cry. They want you to shout. They want you to, yeah, I believe I can do it. I believe I can do it. They make you repeat the same shit 100 times, 200 times until they're satisfied. Just wait. Up to a point. Okay, so you're done with that activity. Then make you sit down. So there's a rule. There's a rule. You sit down, you must be quiet, and you must sit straight. Whatever shit. That's the rule. Then it plays out. You will march it, you know. You kiss the rain out or something like that. And they make you cry. They make you meet the top one person, face the base, and they make you talk about family, and make you talk about. They just want to make you cry, and they have cracked that code of, human behavior. Basically, they want you to feel certain ways because when it comes to leadership training, it was supposed to be a leadership training, but it feels like more like I need to reconnect with my family, man. But that's the way you can fully connect. Because I want to be like that. I want to be the guy who asks questions that make you
Cry?
feel things that you have not felt before. For the goal for this podcast, actually that's my main goal. It's very hard to. Sometimes I guess that I don't really know that well. It's very hard for me to get across this point. This episode, I believe I can be more confident because I know you, both of you so long already. So I'm more able to speak my mind. This is what I want to achieve. It's something that I want to crack the code for my own set of ways to make a person feel or rethink their whatever they're doing now. Because we are very busy and we, up to a point, you don't even know if whatever clients you help, right? Do you really feel for them? That thing itself, the emotional, when you try to sell something and you use the emotional side to sell it, that will be very impactful. It's a strength that everyone needs.
Yeah.
If you look at it, everyone looks at insurance in such a bad way. But if you look at it in a very thoughtful manner, if you really care for that person, right? This thing is gonna be gold, Everyone needs it. I care about you, I care about you. It's love. Let's call it love. But no one sells it this way. If someone would have approached me and do it that way, I feel like I pay you because I'm emotional, man.
Yeah.
In my own ways, it's not insurance because I don't like to sell things, but I feel like I'm also getting up to a point where I kind of want to do sales, but sales in a sense where it's industry of production.
Buy my masterclass. Towards the end, anyway, I have a masterclass register today. It's only $9.99.
And but just I ask you, who knows? Maybe one day you'll be a motivational speaker. I actually asked that same question myself. Who the heck knows? Maybe one day I'll be good at this thing. I don't know, but it's very intriguing to want to feel that feeling of trying to connect to people like those like motivational speakers are. You lay out everything in front of them, but people who interpret it their own way is different. Whatever. I don't really understand because if you know, you know. Like he said, like him, he knows that plaque would be the Euro plaque would be there. He knows that the Mercedes is there. It's something about you have to unlock that part where why do you need to go there? You really believe, You don't believe, That's why you go, Right. The answer is so straightforward. You don't even have it in you. Why do you force it? Why do you pay money?
But another example, this one unfortunately involves Yasmin. Okay, so anyway, there was one particular time, I think 5 days before my flight to Maldives. I was just telling myself, okay, she's going to speak to me one of these few days now. Nope, she has blocked me for 2 years. Facebook, Insta, just complete block.
Hold on a second. This story is crazy. Yo, I wish we can talk about this because just now you said you're uncomfortable talking about it. I'm perfectly fine with it. I wish I could talk about this because this is also one part where I want to get into, because we're all people, man. We're just humans, and emotionally we feel different ways. I feel like his story is very, wow. I would not. The logical side of me would have won this stage, but this guy just won. This emotional scale is just crazy. Wow. You're saying this now, Ian?
Yeah, so I booked a ticket, quit my job at the #1 advertising firm in KL. I just kept telling that time I was doing a shoot in Malacca. It's on one of the freelancing shoot. They paid me a decent sum of money in 5 days, so that was the money I used to fund my entire Maldives vacation. I was just telling myself, she is going to speak to me these few days. Out of nowhere, 2 years unblocked. And the first thing she said, when I asked her, what made you suddenly want to speak to me? She said, no, I just had a sense that I should speak to you.
Huh?
How weird is that?
It's crazy.
So whenever I doubt something, I always remember this particular incident that happened. You want something to happen strong enough, you have that belief it'll happen.
It's very crazy. By the way, Yasmin is his ex.
So?
They broke up lah. Summarize it, because the big story itself is one episode, you know. So
the story is on the paid version of this podcast.
yeah, and back to the premium channel.
199.
Yeah, Lanlekdeology.
Now Prime, give me now.
Don't be saying with it. I want it yesterday.
Give me before I want it.
Give me before I know I want it.
By the way, Yasmin's ex. Summarize it. 2 years later, this guy went full on emo. 2 years later,
2 years.
2 years, you just imagine, I have a headache. 2 years later, he decided to chase her. Like, what the fuck does this come from? Where the fuck does this come from? They were all of me, Azim, our friend. Tell you what, no, don't go. Stop it. This guy would not listen. That's why one of the reasons why I know him so well, I know that he's more of an emotional guy, but now things that happen make him like block out that part. But anyway, I went to Maldives 2 years later to see her, try to convince her.
So I get her back.
Get her back after.
Then how? How's the result?
Do you see anyone here?
Wait.
I don't know. She made a mistake on her life. What?
Damn. Like,
I mean, no, same thing. You go out later, just tell yourself, I want to see number plates that end with 111. You tell yourself, I want to see one different digit, the other all same. You will start seeing.
recently, we had me and my friend, we were throwing darts on the way to the darts place. Look at the number plate 2009. Oh, wait, there's another one. And then in front of the one, there's another one. Oh, damn, that shit. Nah, we laugh it off. That's it. If we see another one, you're gonna belanja me makan, okay? What? Because it's possible, takkan there's 3 cars parked to 2009 together. Okay, there must be a group. But then the lorry is also a 2009. Right, we already turned another way already. Very quickly. Very, very quick. I think within 5 seconds.
Uh-huh.
On the right side, there's a 209. I got a free deal. It feels like I'm living in the simulation.
I think this one where it goes back to the vibrations though. You ask and you shall receive. But the thing is, you must ask with emotion. Because if you are here and if you're asking for something here, you'll never get it. But if you are here, you will get something on the same level.
Yeah.
For example, the people you attract are not based on your circumstance. You are attracting what you are.
Yeah, it's crazy.
It's the weird part, because the only reason I met Deva, the first time I saw him, I was thinking, shit, that guy is me, but 20 years later. He is everything I wanted to be. I found you. So I wanted to become that so badly, I got him into my life.
To end this podcast, I would just say that, to summarize everything,
Like and subscribe.
I never had any call to action so far. My brain is just for my own satisfaction. Like, whatever I gain today or with other guests, it's just for my satisfaction. It's fun because I satisfied the part where I need to refill. So to summarize, of course, encourage to
Buy your masterclass. Okay. Finish.
encourage to experience all of the worst things in your life. Then law of attraction or whatever it takes, right? That itself takes sacrifice. You want that power, right? You have to fight for that power. The power doesn't just come like that. It's funny that it works, but if you don't fight with all the negativities, right, you will never get the power. I believe that's the case. Otherwise, I see here, I want a Lamborghini. Just doing my production work, not thinking about other things, right? How am I supposed to get a Lamborghini? Right?
Need to take action.
All those people who change their name, they calculate numerology. Oh, you become this, become that. But you sit there and sit in your ass and do nothing. All that mean nothing, right?
Yeah. It does mean something when you.
Yes, when you actually do it, then I don't see why it will not happen.
All right. Thanks so much.
All right, cheers, man.
Cheers.
Work until you die.
It's not the best.